what's up? Hello, my name is Emma, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some spooky book recs. Now, I love the Halloween season, and there are just so many great spooky books out there that I'm excited to talk about today, and I even have a couple on here that I haven't actually read yet, but I'm planning to read this month in honor of Halloween and all that good stuff. So let's just jump right into the recommendations. So the first book I have is The Coldest Girl in Coldtown by Holly Black. So this book follows a girl named Tana who lives in a world where there are these walled cities called cold towns. Now, in cold towns, it's a mix of monsters, mostly vampires, and humans, and once you enter a cold town, you can never leave. So Tana ends up on a journey to a cold town with this group of misfits she finds along the way, including an actual vampire. I loved this book so much. I genuinely believe it is one of the best YA vampire books that have ever been written, especially because vampires are still scary and evil creatures in this one. So many YA books tend to romanticize vampires and they make them very human-like, whereas this book definitely focuses on more of the monstrous parts of vampires, and I just really liked that dynamic. It's just got all the good spooky feels, and I would highly recommend it. Next book on this list is The Unbecoming of Marisha Dyer series by Michelle Hodkin, and it's especially fitting for you to pick it up this Halloween season because we have the companion series is coming out in November, so you can just marathon the series this whole month and then be prepared for the next novel. This series is all about a girl named Marisha Dyer who wakes up one morning after an accident where all of her friends are killed except herself, and she can't remember what happened, and so her family relocates to escape the trauma of that past accident, but Mara starts to see her dead friends. Honestly, the Marisha Dyer series was like a hardcore staple of BookTube a few years ago, and then the third book kind of flopped and nobody really enjoyed it, and we all just stopped talking about it, and I think it's the perfect time to bring this masterpiece back because it's a super fun series. A lot of these books on here are more paranormal YA because this one definitely takes place in a contemporary world, but we do have Mara seeing her dead friends, we have some special unique powers coming into play, and that dynamic between two different worlds just comes together really well in this book. Marisha Dyer is definitely a mindfuck book. Like, you are not gonna be able to believe what you're reading, and I think it is just almost unanimously loved across the book community. It's just such a fun, creepy book, and I really love it. Next book on this list is The Archived by Victoria Schwab. Now, I'm a little upset that we still don't have book 3. I'm really holding out that it'll pop up out of nowhere one day. But again, The Archived is just one of those books that everyone who reads it loves. I feel like compared to some other books on this list, this one might be a little bit more softcore spooky, but nonetheless, it is still a fantastic novel. So this story is all about a girl named Mac who is the keeper of histories in the archive. Now, the archive is essentially where all of the dead's memories and past lives are kept, and she makes sure that the violent histories, or what we can kind of refer to as ghosts, don't get violent and out into the world and escape the archive. And so within the archive, there is some sort of presence that is altering histories, erasing essential chapters, and it's up to Mac to find out what it is and how to stop it. The archive strikes a really nice balance between fun lightheartedness, it's got like the snarky YA humor that we all love, but it also has the creepy, spooky, suspenseful feels that just totally complement its lighter parts so well. The Archive is definitely like a classic BookTube read, but if you haven't read it yet, it's not too late. I'd seriously recommend getting invested in this series. And I'm still here praying for book 3. So now I have 2 books that I haven't read yet, but they are definitely on my Halloween TBR because I'm really excited to read them this month. So the first book on my list is actually going to be my next read, and that is, of course, The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexandra Bracken. So this book is all about a boy named Prosper Redding who finds out he has a demon living inside of him after his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather had made a deal with a demon and broke it. Now Prosper has to live with this demon who is trying to curse his entire family. My best friend Michael from Michael Book Lion had read this book a few months ago and told me he got some serious Halloween Town vibes, which is absolutely one of my favorite original Disney Channel movies, and which reminds me that I also need to rewatch the Halloween Town saga very, very soon. But those feels in novel form are absolutely something I'm craving right now, so I cannot wait to read The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding, and I know I'm going to love it. So the next book I haven't read yet, but I'm planning to, is Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendar Blake, which is, I feel like, a little bit more underrated and a lot of people haven't necessarily heard of it, but those who have read it have loved it. So this book is all about a boy named Cam who kills the dead for a living, and that was a very ironic sentence. So Cam travels all around with his mother, who's a witch, and their cat, following urban legend and local folklore to find spirits who are causing harm. So they arrive at this town where there's this local ghost called Anna dressed in blood, who is said to kill every man that comes in her wait, but when Cam faces her, she spares his life for the very first time. It just sounds like a super fun paranormal read. I'm always down for more ghost stories, and I think it's gonna be a great time. So the next book on this list is The Diviners by Libba Bray, which is as amazing as everyone tells you. It definitely lives up to the hype. So The Diviners takes place in 1926 New York, where a girl named Evie has been forced to go live with her uncle, who runs an occult-themed museum. So Evie actually has a supernatural power that led to her being exiled from her hometown in the Midwest, and she's just ready to start a new life in New York, fresh start where nobody knows who she is, until there are a string of murders going around New York and nobody knows who is the culprit. So it is this epic story about a bunch of teens living in 1920s New York where they all have different superpowers, and there is this looming threat of this mysterious murderer going around, and it is so freaking good. I cannot recommend The Diviners enough. Book 3 recently just came out. I still have to catch up on book 2 because I haven't read it yet, but book 1 was fantastic, and it definitely has all the spooky, spoopy Halloween feels that you're gonna want this month. Now, most of the books in this video have been paranormal YA, but I wanted to close it out with an adult mystery thriller that definitely fits into the theme of spooky reads, and that is Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I have not stopped raving about this book since I read it. It is seriously so good, and even if you are not an adult mystery thriller reader, I think it'll still be a great fit for you. Night Film follows a journalist named Scott McGrath, who has always been obsessed with this cult filmmaker named Stanleyus Cordova. And in his past, the obsession he has with this man and his following and his really horrifying films led to the downfall of his career. In the present day, Stanleyus Cordova's daughter named Ashley has recently died, and the police are passing it off as a suicide. But Scott does not think so. He believes that Stanleyus Cordova and his films and his mysterious past has something to do with her death. So he sets out to investigate the days leading up to this girl's death, who she encountered and what happened, to hopefully find out what happened and bring down Stanleyus Cordova once and for all. So this book at its core is a very well-written, suspenseful thriller, but there are also some portions of it where it really leads you to question reality, what is real, what is fake. It has a little bit of the supernatural, occult thrown in here, and it's just an all-around fantastic novel. It's also mixed media, so there are a lot of different like web pages and articles and pictures and stuff that are all throughout the novel, and it really just adds to it. I believe there's also an app related to Night Film, though I never downloaded it, but it just has so much to offer. So if you're somebody who likes spooky stories that are more grounded in reality, like I think if you were a BuzzFeed Unsolved fan, you would really like Night Film. It's a fantastic story, and I'd highly recommend it. So that is really it for my video on some spooky book recs for the Halloween, fall, autumn spooky season. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books or if you have any spooky recs for me. I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!